All right, welcome back here. It's me, Jason, the winemaker Calcareous, taking a quick break from harvest. Middle of harvest 2020. We're kind of in the peakish and then heading down. So almost done. We're about 150 tons of brought in so far of Calcareous wine, and we'll do about 190, maybe 200. It's been a year of big yields. So that's been interesting. But we are definitely setting records in most of our estate vineyards. And it was interesting because, I want to introduce a wine today that it's kind of based on our estate vineyards. And it is based on some of the lesser varietals that we grow. And that is one of our flagship wines, actually. It's called Lloyd, named after Lloyd Messer, one of our founders. And he always envisioned Calcareous Estate as being a Bordeaux-oriented, cab-oriented spot, where a lot of people around us are much more into the Rhone sometimes, but he really envisioned this as being able to grow great Bordeaux's. And this wine is a testament to the fact that he was pretty much onto something. So it's always a blend of all 5 of the major Bordeaux varietals, Cab Sauv, Cab Franc, Merlot, Malbec, and Petit Verdot. And it has evolved in the last few years in a way where we make some other, our estate cab, our signature cab, our York Mountain cab. We have 3 other cabs that I produce here at Calcareous, and so I wanted the Bordeaux varietal to not be just a 4th cab, have it be distinct in a little way. And so it's always based off one of the non-Cabernet Sauvignon varietals. There's always a big, healthy dollop of Cab Sauv in there. But here, the 2018, it's actually 35% Cab Franc, then Cab Sauv at 28%, and then going down the line, Merlot, Malbec, just 4% Petit Verdot, which starting in 2017 is the first time that this wine is 100% estate, because in 2017 we started picking our own grown Petit Verdot from here. So this is the 2nd year of 100% estate on the Lloyd. And so in that idea of trying to make something different from the cab, I think our cab is, they're kind of classic Paso. There's a lot of power, there's a lot of oomph, there's a lot of richness. So I wanted this to be, I don't know if elegant is the word, or it's definitely not sophisticated. I don't know about that word. But something a little more interesting going on instead of just power and weight and richness, which are fun in our estate cabs and in the signature cab, because you want oomph. Here's kind of the showboat of how good our Cabernet Sauvignon. Cabernet Sauvignon is a great showboat kind of a varietal, and you really want to make something that blows people away. Whoa, that's an intense wine. Cab Franc is, here in Paso, to me it's a lighter skin varietal. It doesn't quite get as dark, and definitely has a little bit more spicy and menthol-y type of notes to it. They're a little different than Cab Sauv, and I really like it to kind of show off in this 2018. So just in the nose itself, you're seeing something you can just tell it's not quite as thick when you inhale it, when you breathe that in. When you do our 2018 estate cab, it's really kind of got this real weight even to the aroma. There's definitely some weight. I mean, this is Paso. This is not an old school, old world Bordeaux. This is California. This is Paso. There's still plenty of oomph to this. But it's not quite as the monotone just weight. There's a little bit of spiciness. There's some edge to the aroma, which is what you're trying to get when we're using the Cab Franc is one of the main ingredients. You're trying to get just some other things happening in the aroma, not just, big dark berries and that big rich flavor. And, we're getting there. We're getting there with that. This is a brand new wine, 2018. It's still a baby. To me, you've probably heard some other videos where I talk about aging wines. I'm not the biggest believer in aging makes a wine better. But one thing that aging does do is it builds the nose a little bit. And so much of flavor of what you taste is that interaction between your taste buds and then the aromas going through your nose. that building up the aroma base of a wine is definitely going to increase kind of the flavor complexity. And by having this wine like with the cork in there and everything, all the reactions of the aging process taking place and nothing's allowed to escape, you're trapping a lot of those aroma compounds into the liquid. And after a few years, you start to get much more of those aroma compounds locked in. So when you pour it out, give it some air, they get released, and that's what gives you kind of these bigger, more interesting flavors going on, especially initially, right as those esters are starting to pop out of the glass. And yeah, so I can see this nose developing quite a bit over the next couple of years, and we'll see. That's a given. So then the question is, like, well, how's the flavors going to develop? How's the body, the acid, the tannin? Yeah, that's gonna that's gonna age just fine for a while. So what I laugh is it's just big, and there's a lot of tannin to it, and there's some like real chewiness to that tannin. You want to let that kind of marinate in there for a little bit. So that's that idea. You're going to have some of that chewy, kind of drying tannins. Those are going to age for a while. That complexity is going to build over time. So as these aromatically complexes, the flavors are going to complex, the tannins are going to complex. Oh man, I'm just no spit bucket today. This is just drinking it down. Plus it's harvest, I'm taking a little break from the work. I'll let someone else do some punch downs for a little bit. Yeah, I'm so happy with the way this is tasting right now. Might just keep revisiting that. You probably will too. It is definitely gonna last a while. It's definitely consumable now. You're gonna consume this now when this comes across to you. I would be putting it with something more substantial, something with some fat or some cream, some richness. You need something to kind of counterbalance what is a really kind of young Bordeaux style right now. It's got all the weight and the richness are still there. It's still, like I said, this is still Paso. This is not left bank Bordeaux here. This has got the new world weight to it, and the clean, rich flavors. But there's definitely tannins to it. It definitely has some extraction and some tannins. With that amount of Cab Franc, you would expect there are, the Cab Franc tannins tend to be a little shorter chained, and the shorter chain tannins, you've watched these videos I've been putting out, but the shorter chain tannins are the ones that really stick to the sides of your mouths and your tongue a little bit more and give you that drying sensation. And it also gives you a little bit of that's more spiciness to the tannin, and that's definitely a feature of Cab Franc. It doesn't quite get as rounded of a tannin, especially in a young wine, as the Cab Sauv. So that's something we were chasing here, and it seemed to have glommed onto it and captured it. And again, what I'm really, really happy about these 2018 wines, kind of across the board, as I've kind of backed off going really, really heavy on a lot of the ripeness. A lot of my picking decisions have started to come around more towards how's the acid balance tasting in the grape and not just what the flavors are. And I'm really, really happy on the finish of all these. I don't tend to like the braggadocio style wines where they talk about how this finish just goes on and on and on and on, and you're just like, well, give it a break. When are you going to taste your food? When are you going to taste something else? When are you going to be ready for that next drink? You want something that kind of, it's got flavor and it's going to hang on there, but you don't want something that just coats your mouth and just ruins you for the rest of the day as far as what you're going to taste. There's this real kind of bright cleanliness to the finish to this. So there's plenty of fruit in there, and all the size and all those things, like, well, that's got a big finish. But it doesn't just stick to you, it cleans up. And that's kind of the goal of having an acidic balance to there. It's not just going to be something that just kind of blows out your ability to taste and smell anything because it's so powerful. It's something that clean, and the acid kind of kicks in your saliva and helps your mouth kind of regroup, get ready for a bite of food, get ready to taste something different, and get ready for that next sip. Yeah, the 2018 Lloyd, I'm pretty happy. It's part of that idea of, I don't want to just produce a bunch of wines that are the same wine with a different label. I want, when you get these different wines, I produce a lot of different wines here at Calcareous, and I want it to mean something that it's a different bottle. I want it to mean something to you that this is not just, oh, it's a Calcareous wine, and all Calcareous wines, they all kind of taste like this. I want them to all have their individual character. There's a whole point of putting a different label and different name and making things that have different varietals, is they want to be and should be different wines. And I'm really happy with the direction of this Lloyd. It's definitely distinct from our Cab Sauv varietal bottlings, and I'm really, really pleased with that distinction. So yeah, I think this is now released. Get a bottle while you can and enjoy. Cheers.